Alright guys, due to technical difficulties, I'm now actually showing you guys my open source software video production video via recording at home. Here's a little bit about myself. Name is William Bowen. Like I said during the presentation earlier today, I pretty much went to UVD Mercy, started as an undergrad student in computer information systems with a background in software engineering, then went to the master's program, focused more on information insurance, and now I'm an adjunct professor there teaching, as well as doing a few group X sessions back and forth. I also work full-time with the government and actually get my own PT business done with both group X as well as personal training sessions, and I get into that later on. And I'm also involved with a few other organizations such as Black Data Processing Associates, also known as BDPA, and the Detroit Alumni Extension of NASA Black Engineers. And hopefully, if you're watching this video, I'm trying to get into a PhD program in the near future. And of course, you're going to use any type of video editing or any audio production. Make sure you invest some time and learn about Lame, which actually lets you pretty much use MP3 files and other exporting tools. And then of course you have Xvid for video, although now MPEG-4 works perfectly fine because a lot of people are moving away from Flash. And now I'll go a little bit into video conversion. And this is basically the process of converting a video file from one format to another, also known as encoding. And of course, the faster your CPU is, the faster the encoding process will be. And the amount of compression used and compression algorithm used are also factors which determine the length of the process. And I apologize, people from YouTube that have subscribed to me. Unfortunately, I will not be covering Ubuntu today, nor anytime during Penguicon I. And this is due to issues I ran into the software earlier on, where Ubuntu, it looked very pretty, but it ran very slowly. And it didn't do exactly what I wanted to do, so while it was aesthetically pleasing, it did not give me the functionality that I wanted. And of course, functionality versus aesthetics, that's to be another topic for another video. However, I did notice a few issues with the Ubuntu Studio installer as well as within Ubuntu and even in Linux Mint. For some reason, a pop-up keeps coming up while you're trying to install it saying that CD-ROM cannot be unmodded. Likewise, this actually results in the installer stopping promptly or locking up your entire system. And this is also in the program you missed, because who would actually want to install their OS to a CD-ROM, Blu-ray drive, or DVD? At that point, just run a live CD. You can see you can't read and write constantly back and forth operating system files to a CD-ROM anyway. So the way to go around that, of course, would be download the ISO file, burn to a DVD-ROM image, throw the DVD back into your machine after setting the BIOS to boot from your optical disk drive, and then from there install the operating system to either your hard drive or to a thumb drive. And of course, once you get all this installed, we can play around with some of the tools that come with Ubuntu Studio. So under audio, we'll start with that first. You see we got all these tools. Audacity, and even a virtual MIDI keyboard at the end. So now there's MuseScore, MeterScore, Patch Age, Glandish, and something known as Ardor Digital Audio Workshop. Ooh. But keep it simple, I'll go with Audacity because that works on all platforms, including Windows, Mac, and Linux. So now I'll open up a file real quick. So that's not going to get me in trouble with the copyright police. So I picked this one song from OC Remix, which kind of combined Castlevania with Dance's Resolution. So it's already remixed into like a dance music format. So now I go to effects and reverse it, make it sound more dubstep slide. Actually, not quite. Go back to effects. Let's drop the bass and add some echo effects. Let's see. Get my RAM back. And I'm about to make a lot of people upset for what I'm about to do to the song now. Okay, I just made $1,000 and a new dubstep mix. Just kidding, guys. And now it's punished. My system is punishing me for making that atrocity. Okay, let me hit pause. This thing gives. Okay. Okay, system finally getting my RAM. Oh, it's about to get my RAM back. Hopefully. Give it a little bit longer. Stop flashing. So I started getting that in there slightly. And as you can tell, the audio is very crazy right now. Exit out of here. Nope. So now let's call this the Linux podcast test. And I'm probably sound even louder. So now let's call this the Linux podcast test. Then of course, I'll say export. I'll say, okay, I already have an AUG example in there, so I'll say MP3. Call this a test. Test. Hit save. MP3 test. Hit OK. So now I save. Don't want to set the project. Alright. Let me go into audio production. Sorry. Let me go into the graphics. So now we're going to and try my paint. This will probably be very similar to paint.net in Windows. Or actually it looks like it's more like MS Paint. Probably more fun to have something more like Mario Paint. But who cares? Hey, yippee, okay. And of course, it's not that stable and doesn't do anything, so yeah, let me exit out of here. Something a little bit more useful. Yeah, I know it crashed. Okay, so let me go into GIMP, which you guys all know and love. Takes a while to load up. So I'm gonna say new. Hit OK. So here's the canvas. With very poor handwriting, or I can add text tool here. Probably I should pick color here. Okay, it doesn't want to do anything else, so I'll quit it. Even though, of course, you know you guys can always edit images. So I'll go back to my passport. Easy on myself. I'll say organic flow image. One of their very old. This is one of their older bulletins, so please don't get mad. This is an older version of it. So I can see the owner right now flipping out like, why are you showing this image? Blah, blah, blah. I'm telling everybody now, this is an outdated version of their current logo. So of course you can go ahead and edit this like you would any other image file. But actually, Let me close this one. Open up one more just for fun. Pick the random image. So of course you can go in here, edit photos, you would anything else. So I'm gonna go ahead and exit out of here. For real this time. Anyways. Start changes. Go back to graphics again. Now I'll show you guys the last graphic tool, which would be Inkscape. Let it open up. Probably use if I actually maximize this. And of course, you can see you can do a lot of different things like connecting the dots, like your Pee Wee Herman, la 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 la. Today's word is ah. And it's very sad I'm old enough to know what that is. And I'm trying to get people seizures right now across the internet.